The millionaires supporting Trump following his conviction in the wake of his historic trial and criminal conviction. Extremely wealthy Republican contributors are uniting around the former U.S. President, Donald Trump. Trump, the Republican nominee for president in November, was found guilty of fabricating invoices in order to hide the payment of hush money to Stormy Daniels, the star of an adult film. Even while he hasn't raised as much money as Joe Biden and the Democrats have, the conviction gave his campaign a boost. In the 24 hours following the verdict, they were able to raise around $53 million, £41.6 million. This week, multi-million-dollar funding for Trump's campaign is anticipated to be announced by Israeli-American casino magnate Miriam Adelson. Mrs. Adelson would make a donation to Preserve America, a political action group according to U.S. media reports. Political action committees have unrestricted funding available to support candidates for public office. Though her exact spending plans are unknown, Politico and other U.S. news sources have stated that the amount is anticipated to surpass the $90 million that Mrs. Adelson and her late husband Sheldon donated to Preserve America before to the 2020 election. Others will probably do the same. After last week's ruling, some affluent millionaires expressed their support for Trump on social media. Among them was investor David Sachs from Silicon Valley, who stated that the American people will stand for the USA becoming a banana republic as the one and only issue in this election on X, the former Twitter. Mr. Sachs and another investor Chamath Palihapitiya are organizing a Trump fundraiser that will take place in San Francisco on June 6. It is said that attendees may be requested to donate up to $300,000. In the upcoming days, hedge fund manager Bill Ackman, another possible donor, is anticipated to announce his support for Trump on X. Ackman, the financier, initially stated that Trump should apologize to all Americans following the U.S. Capitol riot 3 years ago. However, he has subsequently modified his stance and expressed support for the former president on the internet. One of the most well-known billionaires on Wall Street, Steve Schwarzman, the CEO of Blackstone Group, has already declared he will back Trump in the election. Similar to Mr. Ackman, Mr. Schwarzman had previously cut ties with the former president. Nonetheless, Mr. Schwarzman expressed in late May that he understood the concern of most Americans that our economic, immigration, and foreign policies are taking the country in the wrong direction. He additionally stated that the dramatic rise of anti-Semitism has led me to focus on the consequences of the upcoming election with greater urgency. The founders of hedge funds John Paulson and Robert Mercer, fracking pioneer Harold Hamm, and casino tycoon Steve Wynn are among the other well-known billionaires who have endorsed Trump thus far. Billionaire businessman Nelson Peltz welcomed the former president in March at his beachside Florida estate. Peltz had previously expressed regret over his 2020 vote for Trump following the U.S. Capitol brawl. Contrarily, Elon Musk has declared that he will not be contributing to either candidate in this election season, even though he does intend to hold a live-stream town hall meeting with Trump. In a similar vein, reports indicate that internet entrepreneur and well-known Republican contributor Peter Thiel has declined offers to support the Trump campaign and has no plans to contribute this election season. Within minutes following last week's verdict, Sean McGuire, a partner at renowned venture capital firm Sequoia, announced a $300,000 gift to Trump, claiming that the trial was unfair. Mr. McGuire detailed his reasons for backing Trump in a long post on X, including the Biden administration's weakness in the Middle East and its handling of the U.S. exit from Afghanistan. Mr. McGuire continued, "The various legal cases against Trump also served as a radicalizing experience. There's a real chance President Trump is convicted of felony charges and sentenced to prison," he stated. "Admittedly, that's one of the reasons I'm rooting for him. I think that he is being weaponized by our legal system." In terms of funding, the Biden campaign has so far eclipsed the Trump campaign by a significant margin. The campaign had a record $192 million in cash on hand at the end of April, compared to $93.1 million for the Trump campaign. But for the first time in this election cycle, the Trump campaign raised more money in the same month, $76 million, than its Democratic opponents. As opposed to raising over $90 million a month earlier, the Biden campaign only managed to raise $51 million in April. Nevertheless, despite all of the funding, Case Western Reserve University in Ohio campaign finance expert, Professor Justin Buchler, told the BBC that money will not be the deciding factor. In a campaign, money is mostly used to raise brand awareness. Joe Biden and Donald Trump are well known to everyone. According to an analysis of data from CBS, the U.S. partner of the BBC, Trump's fundraising typically experiences a spike at pivotal points in his numerous court disputes. His two greatest fundraising days prior to his conviction last week were 4 April, the day of his arraignment in New York City, and 25 August, the day a mugshot of him taken in Georgia was made public. The Trump and Biden camps have been contacted by the BBC for a response regarding the funding.